The fastest way to go from 30% body fat to 10% body fat in 5 simple steps. I've managed to be able to achieve this myself multiple times, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did it. And I'm going to transpond all the information I have in my brain about how to achieve this, so that for those who take action on this video, I can guarantee you will be able to achieve what I've achieved myself. Let's not waste any time, let's dive straight in. So this is me at 30% body fat, grabbing my fat. And genetically, I tend to hold a lot of my fat in my midsection, right? And this is me a few months later, just pinching this fat. And I'm going to show you how I did this in 5 simple steps. A little history on me. I've done this transformation multiple times. This video and this picture you're seeing here on the left of me holding my fat tissue was the first time I did this transformation. This video went viral, and I was in my first year of medical school sharing this. And as you guys can see, this journey for me was the longest and the hardest journey that I'd ever been on. Because the truth is, I was driving blindfolded. I was really motivated. Psychologically, it was the thing I wanted the most, along with becoming a medical doctor. But it took me 7 months and was the longest and hardest journey that I'd ever been on. I was spending 3 to 4 hours in the gym, truthfully, and also following a diet, making many mistakes that I'm gonna prevent you guys from making for those who watch the entirety of this video. And I'm harping on this because you guys may know some of the things, but it's gonna be the golden nuggets that I'm gonna drop throughout this video that may be life-changing for you, so that you can achieve this in 5 simple steps the way that I did. From that 7-month journey, 2 years later, I was able to do it in 90 days. Imagine having all of this belly fat and then it all being gone in 90 days. The amount of people who will have so much respect for you, the amount of respect you'll be able to command in a room, and so many people being interested in how you were able to do this. You can see multiple times I was grabbing fat tissue on my frame, in my midsection, because I'm predisposed to holding fat there, and then only being able to pinch it with my 2 fingers. Imagine 2 hands worth of fat to only being able to pinch it. Bit of history on me, guys. I am a scientist. I graduated at a top 200 school, the University of Cape Town, and I majored in biochemistry and microbiology. I got a full ride scholarship to become a medical doctor. I became a medical doctor, and then I decided I wanted to build my company, Sculpt by Science, right? And not only that, I practice what I preach. Everything that I'll share with you here is exactly what I've done. And recently, I became a professional natural bodybuilder. And our goal as natural bodybuilders is to naturally be able to maintain and build as much muscle as we can and lose all of the fat. And I'm sure that's what you want. This is myself standing alongside the other competitors in different classes. And not only have I done it with myself, every single client that's come through my door over the last 3 years has been able to achieve a similar transformation, if not better. Here's my client, Tori, dropping 36 pounds in 16 weeks, utilizing these 5 steps. And we're going to detail them here. So if you want something similar, I highly encourage you. Again, watch till the end. But let's get into the meat and potatoes. How realistic is this? Before I continue, guys, I really want to know if you enjoy this format, where it takes me very long to do the slides, but I hope that it's really helpful and informative. I don't want to gatekeep, I want to give you guys everything. If yes, just leave the video the gentle thumbs up, share it with a friend. Let's move on. And I need you to ask yourself, is it worth it? Because you do have to put in the work. It will come with sacrifice. Do you need to prioritize your work right now? Do you need to prioritize your family? Is there something happening in your life that has to take priority? And your health has to be your priority. That's massive. Not enough people talk about this, of how much of a priority it has to be. And also honestly ask yourself, are you just making excuses, or are you really dedicated to making this? So I want you to think, how realistic is this? And is this a priority for me right now? And if that's the case, if it is a priority, let's get into it. Step 0. This is the first thing people need to do, and that not enough people think about. You need to come up with targets. You need to hit particular goals. And when you don't have a goal, it's like not having an endpoint in your GPS. You don't have a final destination, and you're gonna be demoralized, you're gonna give up, you're gonna forget about it when you have to make difficult decisions. It's so important to have an end goal. So when I say goal setting, I'm talking about you have a very specific target weight. You know how long you want to do this for, and you have a system in place that's going to get you there. And if you don't set these goals, if you don't make them specific, you're never going to hit them. It's the same thing with everything in life. Hey, I want to get into this college. So you know, okay, I need to get these grades to hit this goal. Or hey, I want to get the promotion at work. I need to make X amount of sales, or I need to work X amount of hours, it's important that you know what targets you need to hit. So we will be using a client of mine, a previous client of mine, Tori, as an example. And these are the info that he will have. We'll use this later. We have his body fat percentage, or we don't yet. We'll figure that out. We have his weight. He was 217 pounds when he started, 35 years of age. And we agreed that he's in moderate activity. So there's sedentary, not doing any workouts, lightly active, training 1 and 3 times in a week. Moderately active is someone I consider who trains up to 5 times in a week. Very active is someone who trains 6 times in a week and has a very strenuous job. And Tori, we determined that he is moderately active. And we'll use this information later. Now, we need to determine what is Tori's body fat percentage. And the best way to be able to determine your body fat percentage would be using a DEXA scan. And a DEXA scan, you can just Google DEXA scan near me. They can be costly, but it will be the most accurate way to determine your body fat percentage. But the way coaches, including myself, use it, and the simplest way, is what I call an eye test. You can also use a skin caliper test, any test that gives you some sort of data, right? We just want the data and we want to compare it between now and later. In this case, we'll just use an eye test. And I'm looking at Tori's physique, and I'm comparing it here between the gentlemen that I'm showing you, between 3 to 4% all the way to 40. Tori's definitely not at 15. You can't see his abs. 20%. You know, the person can kind of start seeing the outline of the six pack. Here at 25%, you can see that the person has a defined chest, which Tori has. He has a little bit of fat here on the side. But if we're looking at his midsection, you can see the fat at the love handles here at the curvature, right? That it's coming off, right? That it's kind of leaning towards the side. I would say he's 25. Then I'm comparing against 30. I want to say he does have a bit more fat tissue deposited on his chest and his belly, but it's not as heavy, right? So he's definitely not 30%, so he's between 25 and 30. For the sake of this video, I would say Tori's more so on the 25%. And I'll be honest with you, usually using an eye test can give you a good guesstimation of where you are. But for the purpose of this video, and you'll see how we utilize this data, I'll say Tori's at 25%. Let me know in the comments, do you agree that he's at 25%? Now, we've determined he's at 25% body fat and he's 217 pounds. Now we need to determine how long is this going to take. So at start, we want Tori at 25% and he's 217 pounds. Tori's weight, we need to determine what it will be to get to 10%, right? That's the overall goal. So 1% of 217 pounds, right, is 2.17 pounds. So 1% of 217 pounds is 2.17, right? Just shift the decimal place twice. And we know Tori needs to lose 15% body fat to go from 25 to 10. And to determine how much weight he has to lose, right, to get to 10%, we multiply 15% multiplied by 1%, right? So 2.17. Tori needs to lose 32.55 pounds. So I want you to do this exercise for yourself. What's your start? If it's 30% and you have to get to 10%, it means that you need to lose 20%, right? So do this exercise and then multiply 1% of your weight. If you're 312 pounds, it's 3.12 multiplied by 20%, the amount that you need to lose. And we can determine, okay, we need to reduce 32.55 pounds worth of fat. And you're going to see how accurate this data is with the result Tori actually got. So let's keep on going. So 32.55. So it means his weight at 10% will be 217 pounds. His current weight minus the weight he has to lose, he has to be at roughly 184.45 pounds. So this way we can determine, okay, we need to get to 185 pounds. So you have a clear target. 217 start, 185 end, right? And roughly around there. This is a guesstimation. This is just theory, right? And also, how long will that take? At max, I like only losing 1% of your body weight per week. Can you lose more? Is that the fastest way? Yes. Can you lose even faster? I will tell you, but there's a risk. You tend to deal with the side effects of cutting too quickly. Weakness, hunger, irritability, poor diet adherence into the future, and it likely not being sustainable. So the fastest way sustainably is 1% a week. So that's going to take you 15 weeks. If you need to lose 20%, it can take you 20 weeks. And sometimes I like adding 4 more weeks to that time for a buffer in case you get sick, you're traveling, any of the things that can come about. So it can take Tori anywhere between 15 to 19 weeks. Tori went from 217 to 181 pounds. And he lost 36 pounds and he got to that goal, right? So just to show you how accurate the math is, and he went from 25% all the way down to 11%, decreased his body fat by more than half. And that is how we determined it, right? So just to show you that when you set goals like this, you know exactly what targets to hit, and the likelihood that you hit it goes from 50% to like 90% because now you have targets. And you can see Tori has veins coming up his abs. Undoubtedly, he hit 10%, right? So let's move on. So calculate your own body fat percentage. Step 1. We now have step 0. We know what our targets are. Step 1 is we want to lose 1% of body fat or more. This is going to be the fastest way. And from this point onwards, guys, you're going to hear things you may have heard already, but I'm going to leave you with very, very profound nuggets. That is so important. We need the perfect caloric deficit. And I put this image here of Tori. Look at my guy. He's happy. He's eating cheesecake and it looks like he has a 9-pack. Look at him. He's so shredded right now. But if your diet is not perfect, if it's not enjoyable, how long can you keep that up? How long? So when you do it any other way, with a fad diet, or I'm gonna go on a juice cleanse, when you do something you can't do the rest of your life, you won't enjoy it and you won't get there. So make sure that the diet that you're following, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that, you're enjoying. Make sure that you enjoy it. It's perfect for you. Now, to explain the science behind it is, first we need to figure out someone's TDEE. This is going to be the baseline, and remember, this is in theory. We need to put this stuff in practice, and I want you to understand this wholeheartedly, because when you become a professional is when you can do it the fastest way. So this is called the Milford-St. formula. And it's basically, long story short, without getting too complicated, there's a formula that we can calculate your total daily energy expenditure. We can calculate how much energy your body's burning the whole day. 24 hours, we can calculate that using this formula. It takes into account your height, your weight, your age, and your gender. And it also takes into account your activity, like how much are you moving outside of just what your body is like. And this is a great picture illustrating 100%, right? It is your basal metabolic rate, which is the energy your body uses at rest for your heart to pump, for your lungs to breathe, for your brain to think, all of these things, all these functions your body needs to live, for your muscle tissue to be active. That's your basal metabolic rate. And that takes about 70% of all the energy that you use. Then 15% is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's the stuff you're doing, fidgeting, moving your hands, how active you are, cleaning your apartment, all things non-exercise, right? That burns calories. You have the thermic effect of food, which is usually about 10%. That's the calories burnt from your body digesting the food that you're putting in it. And we'll talk about more of that later. And then finally, about 5% is the exercise activity thermogenesis, the total calories burned from exercise. And do you see that it's only 5%? This is exactly why, on a science basis, you can never outwork a bad diet. The workouts actually play a small role, bigger picture, right? But they all are important. I think it's important to know that there's math there of how to do that. You will lose weight when you're eating less than what you're burning, right? Or you're burning more than what you're eating. And the best way I can represent this is in a bar graph. So calories out is all the calories that I just showed you, right? That entire graph, your TDEE. It's your exercise, your walking, cleaning, your resting calories, all of this. And what you need to do to be able to lose fat is make sure that you're eating less, right? And you're seeing here, this difference here, this empty gap will be replaced with your fat, right? So this is a perfect way. And actually, let me show you guys a video that I made explaining this the best that I can.
This is what you want to happen on a caloric deficit. You wake up each and every single morning, you're fasted, there's nothing in your system. What you want to do is fill 20% of your caloric intake with your healthy fats that's going to help you maintain hormonal regulation amongst many things. Some olive oil, some butter, the cheese you add to your meal, the egg yolks from your whole egg. And that's 20% of your total caloric intake. You want to allocate 40% of your total caloric intake towards your carbs. This is going to be the main energy source for your brain and your body in terms of lifting and carrying out your day-to-day tasks. And that comes in the source of carbohydrates. You want a serving of vegetables in those 40%. You want one serving of fruit in that 40%. Rice, a great source of carbohydrates. And whatever else you decide you want in terms of your carbs. In this case, I'm going to be using soup for today. Awesome. You've hit your allocated 40% of total carbohydrate intake. This is essential so you can perform really well in the gym. It's gonna help you burn more calories. It is not your enemy. The only problem is it's easy to overeat. And then finally, we wanna allocate 40% of our total caloric intake towards protein. A whey protein from HP Labs. Diamonds sent to support the boy. Some lean chicken breast to mix it up. Some white fish. At the end of the day, if you hit this consistently, you leave yourself with about 20% of a caloric deficit, and do this over and over again, and this is exactly what happens. You go into your storage, your fat tissue, and a day passes by, you establish a 500 caloric deficit, 2 weeks pass by, and you start feeling that the weight's coming off, you're looking better and feeling better in your shirts, and your body has to compensate for the lack of energy that you're giving it and following a diet consistently. This is what you shouldn't do when you're trying to establish a caloric deficit. And eventually, there's gonna be too many calories in here. And because these are so calorically dense, there's so many calories in these foods, your body has no other option but to store it because it has nothing else to do with all this energy. So we store the burger, we store the fries. And if you're watching this video, well, you know how it goes. Let's move on into the next part of the video.
And the science is to make sure that we are eating less calories than what we're burning is we minus 500 from that total daily energy expenditure. And what happens is 500 calories a day, let's say you're burning 3,000, but you're eating 2,500 every day. It's minus 500, and that is equivalent to 1 pound of fat. And you'll lose 1 pound of fat, but I'm gonna show you how to lose more. Can we go faster than 1 pound a week? Absolutely. Before we dive into that, I want to show you guys, for all of those of you who don't know, how to calculate what your own calories are. And for that, let's go here. Number one, you can use an app like MyFitnessPal. Here I'm sharing an app by another fellow YouTuber. It's called Macro Factor. If you download this app, I think you get it 2 weeks for free. It's paid after that. I highly recommend it. Invest in your health, guys. Like, without health, there's nothing. Invest in this. This will work, all right, for those needing to figure out calories and macros. But what you can also do, and I'll just show, this is the easiest way I can show you, is you can also just plug in this data, that mathematical equation I was showing you, you can plug this into AI. So in here I put, I want to lose 1 pound of fat per week. These are my stats. 35 years old, male, and I am 217 pounds, and I'm moderately active, right? And you guys can search here, activity factor on Google. And if you click on images, this one here is the best one, right? So I'm showing you, remember I was saying 1 to 3 days, you're lightly active. Moderately active is 3 to 5 days. So Tori was working out 5 days in a week. And you guys can just determine, right, which activity level you are. Moderately active, heavily active, very active. Just read the description. So let's go back. And I ask AI, how many calories should I eat? And then I also say, when you calculate my calorie intake, give 20% of my total calories towards fats to give me the macros. Give me 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and the rest of my calories towards carbs. Give me the results in total calories, protein, carbs, and fats. The AI is very clever. It's gonna do all the calculations I would do manually, and I'm just gonna hit enter. So you see it's talking about TDEE. You see it's saying there 1 pound of fat approximately is 3,500 calories, right? 3,500 divided by 7 days in a week. That is going to be 500 calories a day. So it's using that formula that I showed you guys earlier, and it's calculating that for you. You see it's using the BMR. It's using that exact same formula so you can save yourself the time. Remember, I asked it to give me 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, 20% of my total calories towards fats, and now it's calculating everything. These are the macros that Tori got, 2,509 calories. This is how much he should be eating to be in a caloric deficit. And remember I said 1 gram of protein per pound, there it is. Carbs, he has to eat 285 grams of carbs and 56 grams of fat. This is very easy to calculate. Now what I do want to say, right, for the purpose of this video, when you calculate your macros, it is in theory. Personally, I've done this for 10 years. I've not calculated my macros in the last 9. Why? It's because I already put the theory into practice. So I know my numbers because I've put it into practice. So these numbers is a baseline and you will change them. So don't be so fixated on the macros. Just put them into practice, do the work. Utilize apps like my Macro Factor and MyFitnessPal to track. Again, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. But You guys may be like right now, all of you guys, all you pros, like I've tried this before, it didn't work. And the truth is that you're no different from me. The likelihood is you're making some mistakes, and I'm gonna highlight them. So the first mistake I see people make is not tracking your food with an app. And the truth is, maybe you're being lazy. So use the app like MacroFactor. And I wanted to share this video with you guys from a guy I met. It's a really good video. This is what happens when you don't track.
Probably like 100. No, here's what 100 calories actually looks like.
So what I wanted to show you guys is like, look at the difference of what 100 calories looks like between different foods. Look at this popcorn, it's so much. And then look at just how many M&Ms, and look at oil. Just 10 grams of oil is 100 calories. So this is so common. 2 Oreos is 100 calories. You know, people eat dates and they are like, yeah, dates are healthy, so I'm gonna eat this. So it's so common. It's very, very common for people to think they're eating the right amount of calories, but when you track it, you're sure that you're actually eating the right amount. So please track your food. Use an app and use a weight scale. Because all those foods that you saw, they were vastly different. Maybe you put too much oil in your food here. If you put too much oil in your food 3 times and it's 100 calories, the 500 calories you thought you burnt, you didn't, because already you messed up with your oils. This is so common. It happens so often. So then people get frustrated because it's them. And I say this to all my clients. The more detail you put in your diet, the more detail you'll see in your body. Professionals are thorough. Be very thorough. And you just need to do it once and you won't have to ever do it again. Second mistake is I see people, they're eyeballing too much. You get lazy and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna put as much peanut butter. Same with the olive oil. They're like, I'll just eyeball it, right? And you'll keep on making this mistake. A week will pass and you won't see results. Third mistake I see people drinking their calories. They're going to Starbucks. They're like, it's just liquids, right? No, those are calories. Track it. And then finally is like, people aren't consistent enough. If you're having blowout weekends where you're having a cheat meal and you're eating this and you're eating that and you know that you shouldn't do it inside, you know you shouldn't do it, but you're doing it, it's like it can't be that bad. Yeah, you won't get your result. With getting to single digit, getting to 10%, you need to be meticulous. And my encouragement for everyone is just try it once in your life. Just get a 6-pack once in your life, just to see how it feels. I promise you, it'll be the best thing you ever did for yourself. But don't also cut out food groups, guys. Don't do fad diets. Make it enjoyable, make it perfect, just calculate it all. In general, 80% of your foods that you make, that you track in an app, should be whole foods. 20% can be anything you want. So it can be a burger, right? It can be a ice cream. It can be anything you want. That's a simple way I can show you guys. But I just showed you how to calculate it. And just to take it a step further, I can say, build me a custom food plan based on these macros. I need to point this out. I don't personally do this because I have all the knowledge I need in my brain with different specialized techniques that the AI will never give me in terms of recipes, just even in general and understanding a person. But you can see here, it can build you a plan. It can build you a plan and you can switch it out and you can tell it what you want and what you don't. Look, it's giving you the macros there and it's giving you the serving sizes. So just for those who are like, hey, I need a diet plan, use that. That's what I mean by the perfect caloric deficit. And let's see. Just to give an example, oatmeal and Greek yogurt, that's nice. Grilled chicken quinoa, okay. Cottage cheese and apple, okay. Sweet potatoes with salmon, not bad. Like, it's basic, right? But you can switch the dinner maybe for a burger, right? You switch the salmon for a lean patty, and instead of sweet potato, you have a burger bun. Diet is the most important, is why I'm stressing this so hard. But the second step is going to be the cardio accelerator. Now, remember when I said it's energy in and energy out? We just covered the energy in portion, which is why I spend so much time. But to speed up fat loss, we can also ramp up our energy out. And I'm going to show you some of the interesting things I'm doing with my clients now. And I'm going to talk about cardio protocols, right? And Tori used these. Again, informal and formal cardio. Informal cardio is just walking outside, just steps. Formal cardio is when you're using a specific machine. You're going to be there how many times a week? Frequency, you're going to be there for a duration of time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And also you have a certain intensity. How intense are you going to be when you're doing this form of cardio? And I'll show you guys an example. So step 2, informal cardio. Most people don't even consider walking as a tool because, according to Mayo Clinic, the average American is walking 3,000 to 4,000 steps, right? And I'm going to show you guys why improving this will be so good according to the science. And people think it's useless, but I'm going to show you. These are 10 ways to get informal cardio. Stand for the last 5 minutes of every hour and just walk. I have a treadmill here behind me. So literally after this video, I'm gonna walk while I'm on the treadmill and use my desk, right? It's a standing desk, and I will walk. You can walk to the gym and back. You can walk in between your sets. So instead of being on your phone, right, texting your friend or just reading Twitter or whatever, just walk. Just pace. And this is a good habit. Take the stairs when you can. Park further from the gym, the office. Use an under the desk walking pad like I'm showing you. Walk while you're on the phone. Wake up 30 minutes before you go to work to get some steps. Walk in the evening. This is why getting steps is so important, right? So if you guys remember, Tori was 217 pounds. If he was an average American, right, at 220 pounds, he was burning only 218 calories. 218. If I doubled that, he would go from 218 to 436. So he would be burning an extra nearly 250 calories. So if I can get Tori to double how many steps he's getting, remember 1 pound of fat is 3,500. So let's say I get Tori to walk 250 extra calories, right? From 4,000 to 8,000 hypothetically. 250 multiplied by 7 days in a week is 1,750. That 1,750 divided by 3,500 is 0.5. I could get Tori to burn an extra half a pound if I just made him go from 4,000 to 8,000. But I got Tori to go to 10,000 in the beginning, 545 compared to the 218. That's even more than 250 calories. So I was getting him to burn more than 1 pound, half a pound extra. And I even took him as far as 15,000, 20,000, and I'm gonna show you guys. So this is why I call it the cardio accelerator. You can walk so much, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is, and accelerate your fat burn. And science actually shows walking burns more fat. And just easy math, 10 minutes of walking will give you 1,000 steps. I found that out for myself. I like claiming I'm the one who made this, but it's also just basic. 1 hour of walking is 60 minutes, 6,000 steps at general pace. That's 3 miles per hour. If you want to get more steps, you can jog at 6,000. You can jog at 6 miles per hour for an hour and get 12,000 steps, right? You doubled your speed, so you double your steps per minute. And I wanted to show you guys this right now in my group and with the clients I'm coaching, and there's money up that we have. I am doing a step challenge. I'm trying to see how many steps my clients can get. We are a premium product. Our clients are business owners, they're executives, music producers. So they're very busy people. Look at this one person, right? From the 23rd of April, 27,000, 25,000, 14,000, 24,000, 16,000, 9,000, 15,000. The point I'm making is that people can get steps. You can get steps. As long as you're just thinking about it, you'll notice that you're just sitting down and you're being lazy. Start moving more. Another client of mine, and you're seeing here, it was Brian who's getting these results. Here's a lady, and if I told you her details, you'd be shocked, but she is getting 21,000 steps in a day. And she sent us the screenshot before joining my program and after. You can see she's under 5,000 if you're looking at this bar graph, right? From the 30th of October 2023 till the 28th of April. So the last 6 months. Before, she was barely getting over 5,000. And sometimes you just need to tell someone, hey. And by the way, if you guys want to find this, if you're on an iPhone or a Samsung, go to the health app. Just search health and you'll find the app and look for steps. You'll see this data. And when she joined my program, boom, that's what happened. Her steps came up tremendously. I have another client. He's a medical doctor. And he even hit 75,000 steps a day. His name is Terrence. Terrence, a big shout out to you. And so far in the first 4 months working together, Terrence has lost 33 pounds, right? January to May. This is May 1st. So it's been 4 months. Now, again, we're doing a step challenge, guys. This is wildly heavy. If you kind of look at his graph, he can get 30,000 on average. We're getting competitive in there. So I just wanted to show that. I thought that was cool. I wanted to shout him out. 33,000 steps on average. His goal, he wants to hit 1 million steps for the month. So that's why his steps are so heavy. And I don't want to hear in the comments is that I don't have time. The point is, I'm not saying get 33,000 steps. What I'm saying to you is you can get 10,000. That's the point I want to make. You can get 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, and that fat will come melting off. So if you want to get over 2 pounds a week, walk more. This is what Tori did for cardio, and Tori did the same. Tori got as high as 20,000 steps on average. I wanted to shout out anybody who wants to achieve something similar. So I am going to be very genuine here with you guys. At Sculpt by Science, we help busy professionals. So these are majority of our clients. They're executives, they're CEOs, pilots, music producers, influencers, pro athletes. We're a small team of 3. We're medical doctors, and we help individuals. If you're struggling with the following, you have brain fog, it's hard, your concentration is low, your confidence is hit right now, and there's chemical things happening in your body as a result. You're dealing with low energy, low sex drive, and for ladies as well, if you're having brain fog, you're not as confident about your shape as you'd like to be. You're not feeling your best self. You're feeling your age, which isn't great. You want your energy back, and you want to fix all of these things. And the worst part is that you've tried different diets, you've tried counting calories like I'm telling you to in a way, you've tracked macros, you've tried intermittent fasting, you've tried surgeries, you've tried all these things here, keto, low fat, and you still didn't get the result. We fix this at Sculpt by Science. It's myself, Dr. Zeno, Coach Max. We're a team of medical professionals, and we help you to be able to fix all these things, the brain fog, the energy. We double your productivity. We finally allow you to get rid and release the weight. If you're dealing with menopause, all these different things, we fix all of these things through what I call the DNA sequence. It's a program I personally designed over the last decade that stands for diagnosis, nucleus, and application. When my clients go through these processes with me, they're guaranteed results. And it is according to the science. If you fall in any of these categories that I just mentioned, all our clients on average is 35 years old and above. You may try and apply to work with us if you're 27 within that range, but you need to fall within these categories. So if you're not the categories I just mentioned, and you feel like you know it all, and you feel like you can fix it on your own, please don't apply. Let's save your time. Let's save our time. Time is the most important thing for all of us. If you're only looking for accountability and nothing else, then we cannot help. If you need accountability with more, we can help you. But if you only need accountability, that's not what we do. If you're not ready to start the journey right now, you have a holiday coming up, you're very busy right now, then into the future, apply when you're ready right now. And if you've never invested in your health, first invest in a personal trainer. Do the apps that I just showed you. Do those things first, and then come to us, if not so. If you fit all those conditions and you want a guaranteed result, I will guarantee it to you. Book a call with me. The link, it's the first one in the description. You're going to fill a short application, and on that call, you will speak to either myself, Dr. Zeno, or Coach Max, and we will listen to you, diagnose where you are, and then be able to figure out and tell you, hey, these are the things we need to potentially fix and how we do that. If that's you, we'll be able to speak, and then we'll go from there. Please, please, please don't go on there to waste our time. But let's move on. Now, with the heart rate, I want you guys to be between 120 beats to 140 beats per minute when it comes to doing formal cardio. Remember, I just talked to you about informal. Formal cardio is going to be a machine. Stairmaster, incline walking on a treadmill, elliptical. Those are the 3. Those are top 3. And week 1 session 15 minutes. Week 2 sessions 15 minutes. And as you can see, as the weeks pass, I want you to slowly increase your frequency and duration, right? And as you can see, you guys can screenshot this. Just screenshot it. This should be your cardio protocol. Just do this and you will see massive benefit. Don't skip to week 6 because this might be very tough for you. You need to be able to be stepwise with your physique and your body, and you need to be kind to your body. And these are the treadmill settings. 3 miles per hour, right? Speed, and you can go from 3% to 15% at highest, but don't go over 140 beats per minute. Try and have an average heart rate of 140 beats. That's cardio accelerator. Do you guys see that? Okay, my diet, I can lose a pound from that a week, but if I increase my steps, I'm just going to show you guys this. As you see, Tori at 220 pounds, let's say he was at 8,000. If he goes to 10,000, he goes from 436 calories to 554 calories per day, every day. If he goes from 10,000 to 13,000, he can burn an extra 250 calories. So he can burn an extra half a pound by increasing steps from 10,000 to 13,000. So to really get it the fastest way, increase your steps. So let's continue. Step 3, intermittent fasting. So the first 2 points that I made to you guys, in my personal opinion, is by far the most important. Now, what makes these things easier, and these are some of the nuggets that I feel will make this the fastest way, is intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting, in short, is also called time restricted feeding. So there's a time you eat and a time you don't eat. In science, we call this setting conditions for your body, being in a fed state and being in a postprandial non-fed state. So your body behaves in different ways when there's food in it and when there isn't. They're both very important. So the really famous one is the 16-8 fast, and we'll talk about this more. But in short, you fast for 16 hours and you eat in an 8-hour window period. Personally, I love this because I love eating, and I love eating bigger meals in a shorter window. The second reason I love this is because I don't need to think about food in the morning. I can focus on work and I don't have to waste time, and I actually feel more energetic without food in my stomach. And I also feel more productive, my brain feels more active, and I feel so much better when I do this. So the way you do fasting is, the best way, according to science, is you want to use the 8 hours that you sleep as part of that fasting period, and then you just extend that. Let's say the easiest way is your first meal will be at midday, and 8 hours from 12 o'clock is 8 p.m. After 8 p.m., until midday the next day, those 16 hours, right? So from 8 p.m. until midday the next day, you do not eat. And there's so many benefits to doing this outside of just weight loss. And in basically the simplest ways, you're skipping breakfast. You can have a black coffee because it won't spike insulin, and it will keep you full, and it can give you a source of energy. You can have water, sparkling water, anything 0 calorie, anything that won't spike your insulin is fine. And there's so many benefits to doing intermittent fasting outside of just the weight loss. It's great for your intestine. It can reduce inflammation in your intestine. It can improve your insulin sensitivity, improves your cognitive function, improves your ability to intake glucose. It's fantastic for your heart health. And I wanted to show you some hormones that are improved as a result. Fasting raises growth hormone 5-fold, which consequently decreases body fat, increases muscle mass, and improves bone density. By fasting, you improve your body's sensitivity to insulin. So you allow insulin, which is a transporter of glucose in your bloodstream, to the necessary muscle. Your body starts using glucose, the body's #1 energy source, more efficiently. You switch your body's energy source as well to ketones. Fasting depletes the body's glycogen, right, which is the complex form of carbs. Typically over a period of 12 to 36 hours, without glucose, the body begins lipolysis. So when your insulin levels are low, you have low blood glucose, right, because you're not eating, your glucose will come down. Lipolysis happens, the breakdown of fat cells, and it converts fatty acids into ketone bodies. These ketones serve as an alternate energy source for the brain and for other tissues. So this is where the keto diet came from. Ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone, rises during fasting, which can signal hunger. However, chronic fasting can decrease baseline ghrelin levels, potentially reducing overall hunger. So yes, in my experience, and this is very true, the first 2 to 3 days of fasting isn't so great because you're hungry, but as time passes, you'll actually notice, like 3 days usually, or even a week for some, after a week, you're just not hungry anymore. Because you've trained your body. There's things that change, and science has shown this. Your baseline ghrelin levels, is usually your base, will decrease and potentially reduce your overall hunger. Norepinephrine, the hormone that aids in the body's fight or flight response, can increase your metabolic rate, right? So this is what fasting helps with. BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Fasting increases levels of BDNF. It's a protein essential for neuron growth and protection, which is crucial for long-term brain health. Furthermore, the reduction of insulin and leptin levels appear to act on the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, thereby impacting mood positively. You feel better. Right now, I am fasted and I feel amazing. I feel so good. So it's why I share this so much, is that it's such a golden nugget for people to improve. There's research, right? And the research paper I'm talking about is the effects of fasting on cardiovascular diseases, systemic review. So it's a lot of research papers put into one. Fasting is beneficial in lowering cardiovascular risk of a population. This is achieved by improving lipid profile, the fat in the blood, improving metabolic syndrome indicators, improving insulin resistance, and lowering body weight and inflammatory biomarkers. Why I've included this in the fastest ways, I've always felt, and again, I'm not saying this is the holy grail. Before anybody's like, Mike, this is what I enjoy personally, and I'm sharing it with you. It gives your digestive system the ability to rest and recover. It improves your gut health, right? So fasting I implement, I do 16-8. And I'll also share this different nugget for you guys. Let's say you're just starting this journey. Let's say you're eating 2,500 calories. For most people, that may be a lot of food. The way you can go about it, let's say at 2,500, because it's more food, you can just start 12-12. You fast for 12 hours, right? And you eat in a 12-hour window period. You go from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And let's say 2 weeks pass and you reduce it to 2,300 calories. Or let's say a month passes and you go from 2,500 to 2,100 after a month. Now you're eating less food. What you can do is actually increase your fasting window. Then you can go 14-10. You can fast for 14 hours. So instead of an 8 a.m. breakfast, you can have a 10 a.m. And then you can work your way up to a 16-8 when you're at 2,000 calories, right? And this is a smarter way of implementing intermittent fasting. You allow your body to adapt. Step 4, high intensity interval training. Now, these are now little things that will play a role. High intensity interval training, I only recommend for you once you are 8 weeks, 10 weeks into the program. You've gone from 30% to 20%, 18%. You've dropped some weight already, because this can be quite strenuous on your knees. But high intensity interval training, or HIIT, stands for, and it's boiled down to the intensity for short periods of time with very short periods in between, right? So an example of a HIIT protocol is Tabata, right? You'll do 20 seconds of intensity, right? Where you can't, it's hard to breathe. It's like that type of cardio, right? 10 seconds rest and repeat 8 times for 4 minutes. So another example of what I like with HIIT, and it can change from being fit or not. If you're on an assault treadmill, you can sprint for 30 seconds and then walk for 1:30. So you'll just check your watch. You sprint for 30 seconds and then you walk for a 1:30, and you keep on repeating this. You can do this for 20 minutes, you can do this for 30 minutes. And that's a form of high intensity. You have intense bouts followed by active rest periods, right? And I'll give you guys more information here. Here's me on a treadmill. Look how shredded I look here. My abs look like they're rippling. And this, you can see I implemented myself. I would sprint myself. I like sprinting for a minute and then walking for a minute. And I would do that for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, right? And research has shown that the results suggest that high intensity exercise favors a lesser body fat deposition, which might be related to increase in post-exercise energy metabolism that is mediated by beta adrenergic stimulation. So in short, yes, you'll burn more fat by doing high intensity interval training. The benefits of high intensity interval training, it's amazing at burning body fat, as I mentioned. It can improve your cardiovascular fitness, right? And it can also improve your brain health and your overall health. It can improve your adherence among participants, your adherence of following diets, right? It can also improve your muscle mass. And I'll just leave this info there for you guys because this video is very long. But HIIT is a great tool to use, but only use it later. I'm giving you a tool to use into the future, and this will speed up fat loss. When you get towards the last weeks of your dieting phase, you're in the last 5 to 10% that you need to lose, including no more than 3 sessions per week, no longer than 30 minutes. So if I'm you, do 1 session for 15 minutes. Then go to 2 sessions of 15 minutes, and then go to 2 sessions of 20 minutes, 2 sessions of 25, increasing it stepwise, right? This way you allow your body to adapt to the things that you're doing to it. This is a graph I wanted to show you. The difference between the formal cardio I was showing you, which is just steady state, low intensity. This should be your bread and butter. But when you're trying to get to that final 10%, including this small little thing will help you. And you can see with HIIT, you raise your heart rate to 90%. You're at 165 heart beats per minute, 180, and then you bring it down, and then you raise it again and you bring it down, and you raise it again. So that's the difference, right? With steady state, you see that your heart rate is consistently it's like a ladder, right? But this one is more pulse. That's how your heart rate looks. Step 5 is going to be supplements. Now, I put from most important to least important, and supplements can help you. They can give you that extra 2%, 3%, 4%, and I'll show you how. The first supplement I'll mention is a whey protein. This will make hitting your protein goals easy. We want to maintain as much muscle mass as we can, and this will make maintaining muscle mass so much easier is by having a protein in there, and it's just convenient. When your calories are lower, I always suggest eat the food rather than drink it because you'll feel fuller. But having a whey protein is fantastic. Whey protein and protein in general can improve the thermic effect of food, which is the easy way of saying the amount of calories your body burns by digesting food. Your body takes the most amount of work breaking down protein. This is why I love a high protein diet. So this basically here shows that your body burns 15 to 30% more calories breaking down protein. It takes 5 to 10% of energy for your body to break down carbs and even less to break down fats. So this is why having such a high protein diet can give you that edge, right? You can burn more calories because you're having much more protein in your diet. So a whey protein is fantastic for this. And creatine, it is the most researched supplement in the world. Creatine can help you improve your performance output. In short, you'll be able to build more muscle as a result of creatine. Highly recommend. Caffeine. This is a cheat code. Caffeine helps lipolysis. Research has shown it helps fat breakdown. But think about it. When you ingest caffeine, you feel more energetic. So pre-workouts have its place in a fat loss regimen because it will allow you to have a better training session, burn more calories, and you will feel so much more active as a result, right? So caffeine supplements have its benefits. Just be careful that your body can adapt to the amount of caffeine you're taking, and you will end up going from 1 cup of coffee to 2 to 3. Sometimes it's good to reduce the concentration and don't drink coffee past midday because it will affect your sleep. And speaking on sleep, sleep is so important. You make this journey so much harder, twofold, if you're not sleeping 7 hours and more. The more you sleep, the easier it'll be. Sleep is the equivalent to oil in your engine. I always describe it as your body's a Ferrari, but if you don't put oil in your Ferrari, it's not gonna make it down the road. So you might have the diet in check. It'll be very difficult it'll be harder. You can still get results in 6 hours, but it won't be as good compared to 7 hours and 8 hours. And these are the 3 supplements I recommend: magnesium L-threonate, L-theanine, and apigenin. This will really help you. I also take melatonin pre-bed, and I sleep like a baby on this, right, with these sleep supplements. But if you're sleeping fine, and they're also all natural, right? They are natural things that you can take, so there's no addiction or anything. But that's it, guys. That's the fastest way to get to 10%. Let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed this. Was it too much, too little? Give me a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy it, and subscribe for more. And let me know in the comments if you need any help. I'm there for you.